Okay, so namaskaram everyone. Let me just switch off the fan and come. Namah Shivaya. Okay, so now it is noise free outside. So namaskaram everyone. So as scheduled, things are happening, and what to start with? See, I have not enabled the comment section. Okay, for the only reason, not only in spirituality, for any subject, the one who is learned has to speak, the one who is supposed to learn has to listen. In other field, this will happen. But when it comes to spirituality, no, this won't happen. Because almost everyone is a, born Brahmanya. So that's why we always stress some of our posts, like, you should know whom the others are. Since you don't know, shamelessly I am telling what I am, what are all the vidyas that I know, kind of. So that is the only reason I have switched off the comment button. This entire, thing is all to empty the digital tantrika, that you digital tantra vidya that has accumulated everyone's mind. I have received questions, but when we don't have the subject knowledge, the questions that we ask from that subject, no, even though we tell with all clarity, still that will not get and sit into our head perfectly. It will sit in a way like how your mind is already designed with. So I have noted down all your questions. It is with me. In this session, we are not going to discuss about those questions. So I'm making these points very clear. First, let us understand what Vidya is, what Tantrika is, what spirituality demands from us. People will say spirituality is giving, 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 giving. You give, you give, you give. Spirituality is giving, but not others giving to us. We giving to them is what is spirituality. So these are all certain things. No? So I have disabled the comment section to make sure this 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours is tight schedule in my time actually. So let me just put all those things. Let me just clarify what vidyas are all about from the traditional schools. First, we will have to understand the necessity of adhering to traditions. Tradition is always the root for any religion. That is why when the Abrahamic religion, wants to raise up, they cannot raise against any religion because all those religions are rooted strongly with the tradition. They cannot even shake it. That is why when we look back into the history, no, they have just killed those people. As long as people live, traditions live. As long as traditions are there, you cannot convert them. You cannot change their religion. So what to do? Kill the people. As simple as to say. So that's how, many religion have got killed. Many religious people have got killed. The moment religious people got killed, then the tradition got killed. And if the tradition is killed, religion is gone. You are all, seeing the advertisements, when you see the advertisements, like, you don't want to work hard, you just, do this, and you will get lakhs and lakhs in month for that advertisements. No, uneducated fools will, fall prey for it. Educated people will say, idiot, How can you earn lakhs and lakhs of money for just this kind of work? He is scamming you. He is not helping you anywhere. So don't spend money. Educated people, they will try to tell, and they will not, leave their job and get into this and get themselves screwed. But still, there are educated people, out of greed, they will fall, for which, one of my ex-colleague is an example. So he left close to 1 lakh salary per month and went for this kind of brainwashing segment. But when it comes to spirituality, no, even educated people remains fool. Because, as I always say, Atmika is no different from Laukika. Whatever a man he is supposed to follow in Laukika helps him to travel in the path of Atmika. Say, for example, a man has to uphold his dharma first. That will help him travel in the path of Atmika. A man reads so many itihasas, a man reads so many Puranas, a man reads so many Tantra books. But if he is not following his Swadharma, Swadharma is what? A man who is supposed to add value to his birth by first being a good son to his parents, second, by being a good friend to his friends, by being a good brother for his brothers and sisters, then for being a good husband, then for being a good nephew, or what good kind of all those relationships, then good father. Then if he is an employer, he has to remain a good employer. If he is an employee, he has to remain within the code of conduct of employee. Then grandfather. So all these relationships has certain code of conduct, so like how he has to live, that code of conduct we call it as lakshana. If an employer doesn't follow in the code of conduct of employer, and if he treats all his employees nastily, can he be called an employer? No. The same way, employee, he has to remain the code of conduct within the employee. Like how we speak when it comes to spirituality, forgetting what our position is. The same way, when he gives lectures, when he gives gyans, and when all those things, when he gives to his employer without working, talking and talking, do you think employer will have him anymore? No. So he's, going against the code of conduct of his employee. So always, any relationship has a certain lakshana. If that lakshana is not maintained, then that relationship has got no value. So when he maintains all these code of conduct, then it helps him travel in the path of spirituality also. Because we all from deep inside know the maturity, spiritual maturity cannot be compared with the maturity with the man one gains from the material life. But the maturity that a man gains from material life is what is the basement for the path of spirituality. Always, we cannot leave material life and we cannot hold into spiritual life. The same way, we cannot hold, travel into spiritual life, and we can say, you cannot have material possessions, you cannot do, you cannot, that and all we cannot say. Now, whoever is sitting in front of this laptop, me, you, we all belong to this material part of world, which we will have to accept the truth. We are all not born for 100% spirituality. We are all here to serve this earth through our material life and also spiritual life. As far as spiritual life is concerned, one must have certain adhikara to help. The man, you take a commissioner. Commissioner, he earned the title out of clearing the exams, out of working at a different stage, and now he has become a commissioner. So if he sees anybody wearing police uniform, no, he will say, who gave you the rights to wear police uniform? Remove it. You are a normal civilian. How can you wear? It is our duty to take care of, and we know how to take care of. You don't know anything. You are just a common man. You gain the knowledge only from news channels or only from social media platforms. And either he will get penalized or he will be warned and left. Same way for spirituality also. Not everyone can wear the vastras, and not everyone can sit on the seat of guru. And now it is all said like, okay, my guru told me to do this. Same example, commissioner, like you very much. He says, Narayana, I like you very much. So henceforth, you know what, you do this policing job, I give you the right. So wherever you find wrong, you go and make sure, you know what, you correct all those mistakes. Will the commissioner say this? Or else, does the commissioner has the right to say this? Howsoever he is a commissioner. Does the commissioner has the right to say this? These are all common sense, which we lack when it comes to spirituality. So these are all certain things where, you know what, a man must remain very clear. And another concept. So before getting into another concept, no. So now let's start with what Tantrika Vidya is actually. Then slowly we will get into all those practical concepts where, you know what, this modern spirituality has distorted the entire tradition system for the survival of spineless spiritual people, we can say. Because, you know, you take the police example, no. So people whoever has wear the police uniform, and people whoever has got warned by the commissioner, no, because of their immaturity, they will spread the news in such a way. Commissioner is, you know what, carrying ahankara. What I am doing is only good to the society. What is wrong in wearing police uniform? What is wrong in wearing doing all these? They will talk with immaturity, and they will talk with, you know what, the sense of they want to achieve something but without working. If you want to become a commissioner, you will have to work towards it, as simple as to say. Even if you work towards it, the moment you clear the exam, you are not going to get the title of a commissioner. So at every stage, a man has to prove his worth. Only when he is ready for that position physically and mentally, he will be given that position. Like how it is there for Laukika, the same way it is there for Atmika also. Okay. Now, what Tantra is all about? Actually, the Vidya is supposed to be called as Tantrikam. Tantrikam is what is the traditional word. And whoever is practicing the traditions, no, they will tell Tantrikam only. And that Tantrikam shined only in the South India. That's the history. Not only Tantrika. Even the Vaidika Vidya shines only in South India. That is why that is the reason North India peoples all come to South India temples, you know what, to get the puja done. Because they know what the priest in North India or other places they does, and what the people in South India does. And again, a shift is happening. No. So instead of becoming good getting spread to their practices are getting spread to South India as well. So even in South India, the Vidyas are all got distorted with this uh, what to say. I don't know how to say. Even now here, when we people were learning, no, we never had a single thought like, you know what, these Vidyas will give us this. These Vidyas will help me survive at a later date. No, we had no plan about all these things. We people stepped into this for no reason or for reason unknown. But nowadays, when people come here, learn Vidyas, they are having like, okay, if I do this puja, I'm going to get this. If I do this Bhairava Dipadana puja, then I'm going to get all these things from Bhairava. Or else, if I learn this puja, then I can earn such money from the people. These are all the main motto that people are coming to us to learn the Vidya without having any basic knowledge on what the Vidya is all about. So let's, you know what, talk Tantrika. So Tantrika is one among the Vidya. Vidya means a path towards Swami's abode. When it comes to Dvaita, Vidya, a path towards self-realization when it comes to Advaita. So Vidya means a path towards knowledge. So when it comes to Dvaita, it is ending there in Swami's abode. When it comes to Advaita, this path is ending within you. So Vidya means path. So Tantrikam is a path to reach either Swami's abode or to attain self-realization. Why to Advaita is superior? No. From the Dvaita, Advaita has to begin. No. Why to? Who said the Dvaita is lower? Who said Advaita is greater? Dvaita is a path, Advaita is a path. Nothing is greater, nothing is lower. And without traveling in the path of Dvaita, one can never understand the path of Advaita. Howsoever he read 1,000 books, howsoever a man has the knowledge to interpret and understand the Advaita from the books, still he cannot taste the essence of Advaita in his life. It is like, reading about the mangoes. For a man to taste the mangoes, he should have the, proper path, proper travel. He has to step out and he has to plant a seed, he has to nurture it, then the seed will become a sapling, then he'll have to nurture it, it has to become a tree. Still he has to nurture it, then flower comes, then mango comes, then it gets ripened, and only then he can taste. He cannot simply read books and taste the ripened mangoes. He can only get the knowledge about mangoes. And that knowledge about mangoes is not going to help him 100% when he steps into the practical reality. Always books are books. So here Tantrika is a Vidya. So, and that Tantrika, no, it is from that Tantrika, the word Tantra comes. So the one who practices Tantrikam, I mean the Vidya is either called a Tantri or a Tantrika. This Sataka, this Upasaka, or all these things are all, the incomplete words. As people have not traveled the path entirely, and because of this digital, all those boomings, no, so this has become, I'm a Sataka, I'm a Upasaka, just like that. No, that's all bullshit. So a man who walks in the path of Tantra, either he is called as a Tantri or he is called a Tantrika. That's how it is. You cannot wear a Gurga uniform and you cannot say, I'm working for a police. Or else you cannot wear the uniform of a police and you cannot say, no, I just collect the garbage from the people because I'm very humble. That also you cannot say. A lion can never pretend as a, deer. And a deer can never roar like a lion, even if it wears the skin of a lion. So that kind of, sight a man must have. So this sight will come from the experiences of material life. And for somebody to, see this kind of sight in spirituality, he has to practice it. Else he can never see. So from Tantrika, the word Tantra comes. And the Tantra means secret. The one who does things secret is what Tantra is. That is why the prayogas done using Tantra Vidhi is hard for somebody to find out what it is. With just a 5 rupee lemon, no, we can very well do it. Hardly half an hour to 1 hour puja. That's all. Wherever he goes, no, nobody can, tell him, somebody has done prayoga on you. Nobody can say. Howsoever he is, master of 1,000 tantra books, he cannot say unless and until he is a practitioner who knows how a snake bites. A man who knows how a snake bites and what are the types of snakes are there can only help people with the antivenom, or else he cannot. So that is tantra. And in tantra puja at higher levels, even the signs of puja done also one cannot see. That's how it goes. That is why I always register in my post though a shameful act telling what we are, but to let people know, what, you are yet to become a complete, don't become a guru now and spoil the society. If you want to learn, come here, we will teach. Just don't wear the gown by yourself, is what is the crux there. So, what shame do I carry telling what I am? A man has no shame to tell he is a man. So, Tantra means secret. Secret means, what, you can draw yantra, blow at people, that's all. Or just doing hand with just a hand gestures, draw yantra, you want something. This is Tantra. So, for you to do a puja, yantra is must. And now we have sayings, we don't know all those things, but yet we are a sadhaka. No, how come? How come you can call yourself a man or a woman without having the sharira? How come you can call yourself a human being first without having a sharira? Yeah. So these are all the very basic concepts which we we miss out, and it becomes very easily visible. How the society is getting distorted because of all the self-cooked theories. So the tantra means secret, as simple as to say. That's all. There are no any exaggerated meanings and all we can. Tantra means secret. So whatever the act that you do, it is going to remain secret. So your guru who taught you will be knowing, you who is doing will be knowing, and to whom you are doing, sorry, through whom you are doing, he will be doing. He will be knowing, like through which Swami or through which Amba you are doing, what? That so only three people who will be knowing what you are doing. So this is what is all about the Tantra. A secret way. That's why the Tantra Vidya has a lot of mudras, gestures. So nobody can understand. And when it comes to Tantra Vidya, you know what? People have the habit of telling, what, these are all textual concepts. How I know these are all textual concepts? Because I also have learned all these texts before stepping into the path completely. Until and unless I understand donkeys have no role in Swami's abode. So when you chant mantras, no, it is said three types a man can chant the mantras. One is Vaikari, like how I speak, the same way you will chant mantras louder. Second is Upamsu. Upamsu means you are chanting mantra with just the lip gestures, lip movement, like this is Upamsu. Third is Manasika. So not even the lip movement will be there. You will be chanting mantra in Manas. So nobody knows. So when you chant mantra loudly, everyone will know. And when you do lip movement, people with sharp intelligence, sharp means sharp, which what we cannot compare ourselves. That kind of sharp and who knows the subject matter can read the lips. Second, we are always surrounded by unseen. We call energy, we call spirits, we call microorganisms, but always a man is surrounded by unseen. Even if there is no one, even if a man cannot see anyone nearby, but still he is surrounded by the unseen forces. Those are all highly intelligent than a man. Even though he is a Vidyarthin, still he cannot compare their intelligence with them. So they will know what kind of mantra that you are chanting. So they will put an obstacle there. Because when you become more than them, then you will start controlling them. That is the problem with the digital spiritual people also, because they know you are more than them, and so they will think like, okay, what if he starts controlling me, kind of. So this human behavior that we have, no, the same behavior they also will have. Even the Swamis have our human behavior only, that we will come later. So because they are all, once they all lived like us, no, so they will have the same behavior. Okay, he is doing something. If he becomes greater than me, then he will start controlling me. And I don't like to get controlled by anyone. So what to do? Let me put an obstacle. so he cannot practice it proper. Third is Manasikam. When somebody does japa inside, no, nobody can find it. Even those things cannot find it. That is the beauty of Manas. So when it comes to Tantrika, people will say, you chant the mantra loudly, that is Adama. You do lip movement, that is Mattima. Then you chant it in Manas, that is Uttama, they will say. Because text says the type of japas, but when it comes to Tantrika, no, it is only one japa, that is Manasika japa, no Upamsu and no Vaikari. So there is no Uttama, Madhyama, Adama and all. It is only one, that is Manasika japa, not even the lip movement. This is what the practical thing is. That's why I always say, you know what, texts are different. When you come to practical, it is different. So when it comes to a path of Tantrika, there are no three types of japa. It is only one type of japa, that is this. And when you come travel in the path of Mantrika, there the Manasika japa don't work. So there you will have to use Vaikari and Upamsu only. There the Manasika japa becomes Adama. So that's why I will always say practice has a different code of conduct. Don't go along with the text. So what the text claim, you know what, chanting japa inside the manas is what is uttama. When it comes to the path of mantrika, chanting japa inside manas is adama. So you will have to hear, you know what, vaikari is uttama and upamsu is madhyama. And chanting mantra in manasik is adama. What is the difference between mantrikam and tantrikam? Mantrikam and tantrikam cannot remain separated. In Tantrikam, Mantrikam plays a role when we do prayogas. And in Mantrikam, Tantrikam plays a role when we do prayogas secretly in such a way nobody can find it. So Mantrikam and Tantrikam will always remain together. And when it comes to Tantrikam, Mantrikam plays a little role. And when it comes to Mantrikam, Tantrikam plays a little role. As simple as to say. This is the, you know what, difference in general, in a very, you know what, common man, what Mantrikam and Tantrikam is. And there is another set of people. Apart from Tantrikas and Mantrikas, there are another set of people who are called yogis. You leave the earlier one. Earlier people alone are all yogis. Nowadays, in modern world, having big photo of a yogi, you know what, advertising yoga or all says, you know, I don't know how to put it up. Again, it is all textual. So I know someone who has learned a pranayama very wrongly. Pranayama and another. So why are we talking about yoga when the session is about tantrika? Because yoga can never remain standalone. Tantrika is either Shakti Rupa or Shiva-Shakti Swarupa. Yoga is also either, yoga here is Shiva Rupa or Shiva-Shakti Swarupa. So we can never separate Shiva and Shakti. Like, okay, so I am a Shakti Upasaka. So I will not follow the path of yoga. No, things don't work. Because for you to hold on to electricity, a medium called fan, a medium called light, or a medium called laptop is required, and based on this only the electricity works. So this is Shiva. And now when I touch the laptop and when you touch your mobile phone, you are not getting electric shock. Why? Because Shiva is containing the Shakti with it. If not, we will get the electric shock. The same way, when it comes to yoga, imagine a laptop or a mobile without electric current. Will it be useful? No. So Shiva and Shakti can never be separated. So when any path, no, Shiva is Dhyana Swarupa, Shakti is Japa Swarupa. Shiva is the Ananda that a man gets out of puja, and Shakti is the Kriya that we do in puja. That is why I will always say, yesterday when we were talking with someone, I told him, no, these are all the things that you are supposed to do. This Jataka yearns this Satyam. See, so these Jataka, this Jataka has these many, gaps in it. So you worship the Nagarajar Vasuki. The moment I told, he said, I'm worshipping him for 13 years now. I was wondering, how come if he is one worshipping for 13 years, how come I cannot sense Nagadevata while talking to him? Because we are all the practitioners. No, a lion knows the smell of a lion, right? Deer knows the smell of a deer. Even if it gets into abandoned forest, the lion will smell if there is there any other lion here. And the snake knows the snake. A man alone can never know the man, but rest all creatures know each other. He was asking, you said you are doing 13 years of Naga sadhana. So tell me what you do. I want to know. I'm so curious because I cannot see that. And he said, I do Dup sadhana. These are all the new technical technology that what people feel I'm very proud of, but they remain in the pothole. Yeah, Dup sadhana means I was so this is a very new terminology. No, I was so confused. I asked him, what is Dup sadhana? Then, as I am also into social media, going through lot of posts on sadhana, I will also have a little intelligence, no modern intelligence. I asked, showing Dup to Swami, is that you call Dup sadhana? He said, yes, for 13 years I am showing Dup to Naga. Okay. For how many hours you will show the Dup to Naga? 2 hours, 3 hours, or hardly 5 seconds, 10 seconds? That one. So showing Dupa, Deepa are all the angas of puja. But nowadays, you know what? Lighting a lamp has become a puja. So showing agarbatti has become a puja. And throwing some flowers has become a puja. When we are in LKG, if we think I am studying PhD, then a man can never pass even LKG because a pseudo ahamkara sit on his head. He cannot learn anything further also because inside him it says you are as equal to PhD. Why do you want to learn all these? That's all. Alphabet is enough. And he will always remain with the alphabets alone. So that's how we see people with just the alphabet, they talk about the PhD. So that can never be called as a sadhana, which we will see what sadhana is all about. So only if you break all these things and come out of all those modern illusions, no, only then a man can walk in the path of spirituality. One Amma told us, just because you people are all not willing to teach, we people are all going outside and we are all getting scammed. So you have no rights to say people are scamming until and unless you step into this. So it is the work of that Amma that is making me to spend time with these kind of work. Else these are all not our part and parcel of life. So tantram, mantram, yogam. So a man has to carry all these three. If a man gets into the path of tantrika, then at some point of time, like how what a constable becoming a commissioner, the same way, when he grows, mantrikam gets to him. So tantrikam, mantrikam, and yogam are all having different proportions in the same path. We cannot ignore Mantrikam, we cannot ignore Yogam, and we cannot say I am a Tantrika. It's like ignoring eyes and ears, and I'm telling, yeah, I am all right, I'm healthy. And when it comes to Mantrikam, without having the Yogam, we cannot tell, what, I'm a Mantrika. It's like telling, I have a strong Sharira. Bones and all not necessary for the Sharira, kind of. When it comes to yoga, without a proper Kriya, without a proper mantra getting adhered to that Yoga Vidya. Yoga Vidya also has certain yantras associated with it. So I don't know all these mantras, yantras, and all. I have learned from such and such a parampara. Okay. When did he died? Few thousand years ago he died. When did you born? Just hardly 50 years back. Then how come he becomes your guru? He is my guru. So that's how things are all going. So when a man walks into the path of this kind of Tantrika Vidya, this kind, not Tantrika Vidya has no kind, so sorry. So when I say this, when a man wants to learn Tantrika, when a man wants to learn Tantrika, then yoga becomes, a mandatory subject to practice. How about Vaidika? Even in Vaidika, a man has to practice yoga. Yoga is the integral part of a man's journey. You quit yoga, then you cannot have a journey at all. It is yoga that gives strength to physique, that gives strength to mind, and makes him strong enough to walk in the path of spirituality. Else, without yoga, nothing there. So, now you will be having the basic idea of what Tantra is all about. So, what is Tantra sadhana? What are all the acharas that people are all saying, kind of? You take the path of Vaidika, there is only one achara. Vaidika achara. If you are a Vaishnavas, you will be following Vaishnavachara in the path of Vaidika. If you belong to the path of Shaiva, you will be following Shaivachara in the path of Vaidika. So now this is how Vaidikas will worship Swami. When it comes to Tantrikas, again the path starts from Vaidika Achara only. A man will learn how to worship Swami in Vaidika Achara. Then from Vaidika Achara, he will learn to worship Swami in Siddhanta Achara. From Siddhanta Achara, he will learn how to worship Swami in Dakshinachara. Then from Dakshinachara, he will learn how to worship Swami in Vamachara. Then from Vamachara, he will learn how to worship Swami in Kaulachara. This Kaulachara is what is called as Samayachara. So there is no separate Samayachara and all. This Kaulachara is what is Samayachara. So for a man who is learning Tantrika Vidya has to cross these paths from Vaidikachara, Dakshinachara, Vamachara, Kaulachara, which is also called as Samayachara. When it comes to material life, when it comes to job promotions, we are accepting, okay, promotions will be there. But when it comes to spirituality, we don't want to accept the fact. That is why every Tom, Dick, and Harry is becoming a guru nowadays. Namaskar. So, we here, one cannot say, I don't follow Vaidigachara and Dakshinachara. I follow Kaulachara. I am direct Kaula. It's like a man telling, I don't write the 10th exam, 12th exam, and all. I'm not interested to write all these things. I am straight away going to PhD. And I'm practicing PhD. I'm reading a lot of books of PhD. So I am a PhD scholar. How come this kind of talk add values to it? Like, will you accept with all your sanity when a man says, I have not written 10th, 12th, and all. So I am straight away, practicing PhD, and I am a PhD scholar. Will you accept this? The same way, the path also will not accept this. How, instead of saying the path is, will not accept this, they are not in the path itself. Like how such kind of people are not in the path of education, in the standard education, the same way these kind of people are not in the standard education when it comes to spirituality. As simple as to say. So a man, when he learns from Vaidika Achara only. So slowly, based on his pakwa, we will say in Tamil. Pakwa means, eligibility or maturity, or it's like the promotion. It's like the promotion, job promotion. When we prove ourselves to our employer, he gives us promotion. No, the same way. First, he will give us Vaidikachara. If we prove us there, then he will take us to Dakshinachara. If we prove us there, then he will take us to Vamachara. If we prove us there, then he will take to the Kaulachara, which is Samayachara. And that too, if your Acharya is sticking only with Vedic Acharya, then you cannot learn all these, then you will be sticking to Vedic Acharya only. If at all your Acharya has learned till this so-called digitally popularized Samayachara, then he will take you only from Vedic Acharya to Samayachara. He will not tell, I give you straightly PhD. Nobody has the rights. Can education minister say, okay, I like him very much. You don't want to write 10th, 12th and UG and all. You go apply for PhD straight. I will give you the recommendation letter. Will any universities accept? So we should have some kind of sanity when it comes to spirituality also. So these are all the type of acharas. And no achara is greater than the other. Like how Vidya is one line, one lane, one route. The same way these acharas are all one route. It is not said Vedic achara. People who are practicing Vedic achara are powerless. People who are following this Vama Kaula are all superior. No, there is nothing like that. A man has to travel from 10th standard only. From 10th standard, board exam begins. So from 10th standard, he has to come till PG and then only PhD. He can never become a PhD scholar direct. And somebody have asked me, do we have a separate tantra for Kali, Bhairava, and all those things? Yes. Again, I said, Tantrikam is a path, as simple as to say. So there you will have a lot of scope to worship different Swami. So in that path, if you worship Ganapati, that path is called as Ganapatyam. There the Parabrahma Swarupa who remains at the end of that path is Ganapati. And if you worship Surya Bhagavan, that path is called as Sauram. There at the end of the path, the Parabrahma will remain in the form of Surya Bhagavan. And if you want to travel in the path of Shakti, that is called Shaktam, there the Parabrahma will take the form of Parashakti and stands there at the end of this path. The same way, Vaishnava is there for Mahavishnu, then Shaiva Mata is there for Shiva, Pashupata Matam is there for a different, for the upgraded practice that from, Kapalika Kula and also from Shaiva. So Pashupatamata will also follow some practices from Kapalika. And if you want Bhairava, then it is the path of Kapalika. And Kali and Lalitai have two paths. When it comes to Lalitai, she has a Sri Vidya, path of Sri Vidya, and also she has the path of Shakta. The same way, when it comes to Kali, she has the path of Kali Vidya and she also has the path of Shakta. So there are various paths. Thing is, a man must put himself to learn all these practically with all the realistic thing. So, and another person have asked me, what is Tantram and how far it is different from occult? As I told you very clear, Tantra is a path of self-realization when it comes to Advaita. Tantrika and again is the path of, Daiva Darshana, when we walk in the path of Dvaita Bhava. So Tantrika can never be shown that it is the path of occult. It is a spiritual promotional activity. Where does occult play a role in the path of self realization? But this small percentage of Mantrika we add into the Tantrika Vidya, no, that brings occult with the Tantrika Vidya. So I know people who write a lot of posts like, if I step into Prayoga, that's all, world will get terrified, kind of. And such people, you know what, when they come here and they will tell the truth, like, no, I have no guru. My guru hasn't taught me anything, kind of. So that is how the world is full of. So one doesn't need to worry about the prayogas and all, because hardly people learn things properly. And even in 2004 itself, I met a fraud guru. Imagine now is, 2025, 20 years, how many fraud gurus has come. So one can never learn a complete Vidya. That is why, people will say, I don't know Yantra, I don't know Yoga, but I am a sadhaka. They will say, how come? I still wonder how come this happens. And they will say, I don't know these things and all, but I know this. I still wonder. How come you can call yourself a man when you don't have, when you don't have a nose, or when you don't have a ear, or when you don't have even the thing that, makes us for whether a man or a woman, Swami Sharma. So, Tantrikam can never be seen as the path of occult. Tantrikam is always a path towards self realization, and one can never see Dvaita is lower and Advaita is higher. Without the path of Dvaita, no Advaita. And Advaita is certainly no lower. And now let's see the difference between what Japa, Upasana, Sadhana, this Tantrika, Mantrika, Yogi, all these terminologies. Let's start with Japa, because Japa is the basic thing, a first step. Japa, Japamala. We all have the habit of telling 100 Japas, 1000 Japas, 10,000 Japas. Now again that has got distorted to 10 malas, 1 malas, 5 malas. These are all, can never be considered. So always we will have to use the correct terminologies. We cannot bring out our own terminologies. So the first man has to correct himself. I did 100 japa. I did 200 japa. I did 1000 japa. I did 5000 japa. I did 10,000 japa. It's like one mala japa daily, two mala japa daily. Why shortcut even telling the count? Shortcut or simple sadhanas, or or simple puja, simple homa. No simple can make one millionaire. It is only the hard work, imbibed with the proper intelligence only will help him, reach the success. Can you earn money just like that? You work for only half an hour a day or 10 minutes a day. Will you become a Lakshadipati? Will you become a Crorepati? Then how come you take this stand in spirituality alone? That means you are lazy and also greedy and also stupid. Who thinks, with mantra I can get mangoes? That's nonsense. That's utterly nonsense, which can never happen. So when you do japa, that is japa. That is not a sadhana. Never tell that is a sadhana. I told you, no, when you are reading, when you are studying 10th standard, you will have to tell, I am studying 10th standard. You might have the aspirations to become a collector. But when you are studying 10th standard, if you tell, what are you doing? I am a collector. Then that pseudo ahankar will sit on your head. And you know what? You cannot pass even 10th standard. If somebody says, what are you doing? I am doing 10th standard now. Okay, do you have any aspirations? I am aspired to become a collector. That is different. Studying in 10th standard, when we say, I am a collector, I am preparing for a collector exam, that is all nonsense, too much exaggeration. That won't even let you pass even 10th standard. You will fail even in 10th standard. So that can never be called a sadhana. That is japa. You do pujas. Puja means, I mean, proper pujas. Either you follow a proper agama or a proper tantra shastra. Just throwing flowers, showing dupa, and sitting in front of Swami, coming out, exaggerating, I have done puja, that can never be called a puja. If you start calling this as a puja, you cannot learn things properly. Just a classic example. You go, wash your face and come, and you think that is the bath. Only your face looks shining. When you cross, smell comes. That is why even with this all will corrupt, because these are all laziness. Even good people are, what, in the hands of laziness, and their scope of learning has got ended. They cannot learn. I bet such people can never learn. Such people will always have the face wash. They will say, face wash is what is bathing is all about. And when they come, bad smell comes. So don't call it as a puja. If you want to learn, if you want to do the puja, learn puja properly. Then you tell, okay, I'm doing puja. Until then, don't tell. Then what is upasana? This japa has to become a upasana. This japa has to take the form of a upasana. Next step. What is upasana? Upasana is upasana. Upasana means another seat next to you, either left or right. You can ask either it is left or right. These things and all Shastras will not say. As like how we have disabled the comment here, that's how things will be in traditional schools. Because questions never end. They will say, do this means do that. That's all. This is not going to do anything whether left side or right side. These are all stupid questions. No masters will encourage stupidity, no. So Shastras have never told, what left or right seat. They said Upasana means Upasana. So you are going to put a seat next to you. There, because of continuous japa, 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 when that japa becomes a breath, when that japa becomes your chintana, then it becomes upasana. Then the shape of japa becomes a upasana. Means your japa will take the form of that swami and sit on that asana. Until then, we can never tell I am doing upasana, I am doing japa. My upasana is yet to get fructified. Okay. And then we cannot think, okay, I am doing upasana, it gets fructified. No. How have you got the japa first? I picked it from the book. I picked it from the internet. Like how you are making YouTube live now. The same way I will follow people, and when they tell anything, I will note it down, and I will chant it. Again, I am tired of telling all these things, because you know what, the lazy and greedy mind of humans can never accept the fact. But still, we are shouting out. Can you download the mango sapling image, and can you get a fruit out of it? Can you read about the mango seed and mango tree, and can you get the fruit out of that books? Or can a man courier the big mango tree to your place? Or can a man, email the mango tree to your place? Apply the logical mind when it comes to spirituality also, so that spirituality will never become a superstition. Spirituality is the supreme reality. There, the lazy and the greedy mind and the stupid mind, brings superstition and replaces the spirituality. So the japa, when will the japa work? You have to meet your guru and he has to properly initiate you. Means he will give you the sapling, mango sapling. You will have to plant it, daily nurture it, water it, add fertilizers. Yoga. Why yoga? You ask, no, how come yoga? It's like adding fertilizers to the plant so that the bacteria and fungus don't, attack it. The same way yoga is necessary for a man. It's like a fertilizer. And you'll have to nurture it, nurture it, nurture it, nurture it, nurture it, nurture it. Like how you have no idea in which year it will bring fruits. The same way, nobody can say, you know what, in which year your upasana will attain the upasana. So until then, don't call yourself a upasana. Why I am telling is only if you call yourself what you truly is, you can become what you aspire for. Like how a 10th standard man says, okay, I am a collector. He cannot even pass 10th standard. That's how it is. So your japa has to take the form of a upasaka. The japa has to take the form of upasana. Okay. Upasana means upasana. Then what is sadhaka? What is sadhana? Okay. What you do? I do japa. And I will not tell the same word 10 malas japa, 5 malas japa. I will tell the traditional one only. 1000 japa. You may ask what is wrong in it, but you walk in the path of tradition, you yourself will come to know how stupid it is. Else, if I tell now, you will justify it with your digitally acquired intelligence, which Shastra is not a people to market it. So, what you do? I do japa. How many japa? Such and such a japa. Such and such a count of japa. Okay. So, how can you call this as a sadhana? This is sadhana only. I was told like this. This is sadhana. Okay. What is the meaning of sadhana? Actually, that has to be called a sadhana. Sadhana. It's not sadhana. But everywhere it's like sadhana, 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 sadhana. Even from there, one akshara we have removed. Even the word sadhana has become handicapped in the modern hands. What is sadhana? Achieving the unachievable is what is sadhana. Then, is that hard to do 108 japas? Doing 108 japa, is that unachievable for a man that you are doing it? And once a month you sit for 1 hour, and is that called a sadhana? Because nobody can able to do, I am doing it. Do you think nobody can sit for 1 hour? Sadhana means something achieving that is supposed to remain unachievable. Sadhana is moving Kailasha mountain. Even the people like us, we don't dare to say we are doing sadhana. If somebody asks me, I will say I am doing upasana. If somebody lower than us, if they ask, they will say I am doing japa. Even people like us, we don't dare to say I am doing sadhana because I haven't shaked the Kailash Mala. I haven't shaked the Kamakya mountain, and I have not shaked the Trivandamala mountain. I go to such places, I do my namaskara. That too, if there is a crowd, I will stand out, or if there is less crowd, I will go in, or else if there are any influence, I will use the influence. That's all. That's how a man can do. Only if we shake the entire Kamakya mountain, we can call ourselves I am a Kamakya sadhaka because I am shaking the mountain there. Until and unless he can never call himself a sadhaka. If he calls himself a sadhaka, that's all is done. He cannot travel further. Like how I told. When a 10th standard boy tells I am a collector, he cannot pass even 10th standard. Because that pseudo ahamkar will sit on the head. So these are the difference between japa, upasana, and sadhana. Then what is sadhana? I will not tell here. You learn things properly. These are all just to break the modern illusions that people carry towards, spirituality, Kaulachara, Vamachara, Tantra, and all those things. Not to promote the further madness, because nobody wants to learn things properly. As long as I have seen, even people come here, say all those proper Gurujis, I want this yantra. Okay, you yourself is a guru, you should be knowing how to make it. Why are you coming to me? No, I don't know this. You make me. Well, this I don't know. They will not. They will say, from your hands, if I get, I will feel auspicious. Unfortunately, we don't fall for those praises. But since we are also living in society, not every time we can wear the mask of a tiger or a lion or sometimes even a dog. So you will say, okay, I will do. But even the sense of gratitude won't be there. These are all the basic, the lakshanas a man must carry. That's why I will say the lakshanas that you get out of material life is what is the basement for your spiritual life. When we don't have that kind of traits, then this has got nothing. When there is no basement, how come there will be a building? There can never be a building. It looks like 3D model inside the system. Now let us come to why Guru is necessary in the path. What is the difference between Guru and guide? Guru, the text says, he is the dispeller of dark. You leave the text, because howsoever we read the text, we are not going to behave according to it. And then we call ourselves a Guru. And we say, my inner Guru. Those infections has got no medicines. Namah. Guru means father. That's all. Who is Shishya? Shishya is the Manasa Putra for that Guru. That's all. So a Shishya has to carry the traits of a son, and Guru has to carry the traits of a father. Father will never leave the son. It is always the sons who will calculate what father has, who will behave just to get the things from father, and who will manipulate his behavior in front of his father. And he will count, what am I going to get? What am I going to get? What am I going to get? I want it, give me. I want it, give me. What am I going to get? 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 And then he will say, you get out of my home. So that's how that this is not happening in just the material part. This is happening in the path of spirituality also. Gurus don't leave shishyas. Shishyas will say, okay, I'm going to because there is no Shishya Baba, no. So Shishya has to become a son, and Guru has to be live the life of a father. As simple as to say. That is the difference between Guru and Shishya. Now, what is the difference between Guru and guide? Guru is father. So you ask him, Appa, I haven't been to, Texas. And your Appa will say, okay, we will go. I will take you there. If at all you are ready, he will take you immediately. If not, he will think and he will say, I will take you there. You don't need to worry. But 100% he will take you to Texas. And he will make sure you return home back safely. That is the responsibility of the Guru. When it comes to the guide and all was not there in the earlier days. Guide and all has become how to call the the modernly the modern innovations. Guide is like an auto driver. You ask him how to go to this place, he will tell, and you will be having no idea whether that auto driver has the route or not, because you yourself don't know the route. If he is a good auto driver, he will tell, okay, this is the route. And when you ask him the same question, I want to go to Texas, he will say, no, no. How come you go to Texas from here? You go find the right people. They will guide you how to go to Texas because you don't know where Texas is all about. And you meet another auto driver who is a crooked. You go ask, where is Texas? He will say, go take left, one left, that's all. The route is very simple. Go straight, take left. You will have no traffic in the left road. Right also you can go, but right there will be a lot of traffic. You don't go there. So you go straight, just immediate left. You take that left has nobody, so you can go straight to Texas. You don't want to stop elsewhere. This is the difference between Guru and Guide. More than this, what can be said? No. Because when a mind walks away from the path of truth, it can never understand what truth is all about. And when a mind already convince you, like, you know what, you have achieved everything, then for 100% certain, you cannot achieve anything. So, how you nurture your mind matters, how you handle your mind matters. And if you truly have the aspirations, you will work towards it. If you don't have the aspirations of attaining the reaching that heights, then you will only talk about it. So there are only two set of people. So I don't know whoever is listening here, I don't know who belongs to which category. And when I see, if at all you say you want to become a, because in every post I could say Sanatana Dharma, Hinduism, I want to promote Hinduism, I am sadhaka, all those things. If you are truly a sadhaka, you will be knowing all basic etiquettes. If you are truly a upasaka, you will be knowing all basic etiquettes. And basic etiquette in Hindu Dharma Shastra is not to have your head blank. Whether you are a yogi, whether you are a mantrika, you are a tantrika, it is not said your head is supposed to remain blank. But we could see all the yogis proudly flaunting, I don't belong to any religion, so I cannot have all those things. Let it be, Sri Guruji, let it be of Sadguruji, or let it be of Parama Guruji, let it be of Paramahamsa Guruji. They all carry empty heads. Empty head, a man with no such thing or no this thing is considered as equal to Shava. He has got no entry into the board of divine because the board of divine is auspicious. If you don't carry auspiciousness with you, then you cannot enter there. Can a dead body enter the Garbhagraha of a temple? No. Even if it crosses the temple, they will close the temple. It cannot even look from outside. So that's the importance, having, and every upasana will have a certain thing to have, and that a man has to follow, which books and all will not tell. No guides will tell. Because if at all somebody comes from the proper path, they will become a guru and not a guide, first of all. There can never be guide, actually. When people say, I am upasaka, I am a sataka, he is a tantrika, that's another nonsense. When you don't do japa, when you don't do upasana and keeps Swami right beside you, when you don't practice this sadhana, how come you become a tantrika? How come you become a prayogika? No, no, only when you cross all these 10th standard, 11th standard, 12th standard, UG, PG, PhD this, PhD that, PhD this, PhD that, people be like, he's just a PhD. I am 10th standard. These are all very nonsense when it comes to spirituality. So it has to begin from japa and then slowly, 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 slowly. Either he takes the path of yogi, or he takes the path of mantrika, he takes the path of tantrika. Mantrika is almost dead. It remains few in the hands of, if I am right, as long as Even in the less than 10 people in the entire south, Mantrika remains in hand. You consider the people who lives in the interior rural areas, hardly 20, 30 people. So in the entire south, even 50 people, if somebody knows Mantrika, that is very, what a blessing to know. Tantrika also nobody knows, but you know what? Everyone becomes a Tantrika. It's good that Mantrika has not come into textbook because Mantrika is purely a practice related. There are no text, there is no gyans, there are no talks. So Mantrika has no scope to come in the text. So Mantrika has not reached anywhere. So based on what Vidya you follow, based on what Swami you worship, based on that, what Mukha Lankara a man has to have. These are all considered kala. When you don't have anything, it becomes nishkala. Nishkala is daridrya. It's the form of jeshta. So there, whatever the money that you get, there, whatever the popularity that you get, it all comes from jeshta. If the jeshta amba gives all you this, then it comes along with the crookedness. So these are all the basic etiquettes a man has to carry when he is in the path. So I think in this webinar, people knew what Guru is all about, what Shishya is all about in the layman terminology, and what Tantrika is all about, what Mantrika is all about, how Tantrika, Mantrika, Yoga are all together, and how there are different paths for different Swamis, and what are all the different acharas that we follow, and how one has to learn from the basic, and how come one can never do PhD without doing 10th standard. All these things we have made through this. So let me check if the comments section can be enabled. And if you have any questions, just in case if I check because this is all new to me, I will enable the comment section. So if there are any questions that you have, no, you can very well ask. Just a minute. Uh, just a minute. Okay, that is the case. I tell you my Gmail ID. Can you type and email me? I will just look at the email right away. Meanwhile, I will also check if at all you have any questions. My email ID is Kanchana Peetam, KANCHANAPeetam, Kanchana Peetam at the rate gmail.com. So still 15 minutes more. After that, I may not be able to respond to emails. So now if you could send me your emails, no, I will go through it immediately, and we will, get it clarified right away. Namah Shivaya. I think comments are on. Okay. So then we shall end this live stream. So the objective of this is to bring the true concept of what Tantra Vidya is all about. So wait, I have received. Uh, I have been asked with a question like, okay, see, what is the duty of Shishya towards Guru? As you said, a son leaves the father and looks only what he can get from him. What etiquette we need to inculcate in life to hold on to Sri Guru's feet. As father takes care of the son under all circumstances, so the son has duties to make the father happy with his conduct. That's all. You yourself have asked the question, you yourself have told the answer as well. So, like how a father is supposed to remain to his son, the same way Guru is supposed to remain to his Shishyas. And like how a son is supposed to remain to his father, the same way Shishyas are supposed to, behave to his Guru. That's why we take the very simple example of father and son, because every Shishya is the Manasa Putra for the Guru, and Guru is no different from the father. The more and more we go into technical things, no, then I will be dumping a few more on your mind. It is to empty the mind of people to know what to have a fresh water about what tradition is all about, what Vidya is all about. This webinar is there. And in website, we can see Chandi Vidya is this divine Chandi Vidya is both taught through online. Deshabrat, these are all do not fall under the what concepts of webinar. These are all private topics which we can what discuss it privately. Always, even if I teach Vidyas through online, that has got no exception. You are downloading the mango tree only. Just because people are also curious to download things, we are stepping it with the idea, at least with the Satyam. At least with the Swami's grace, they will understand one day this is not. See, this is a very classical thing, like how somebody asked when we say Guru and Shishya are like son and father, can you remain without seeing your father? Can you remain in States or can you remain in India and get the money alone from your father? What relationship that it the what does it has? What kind of integrity that you can show to your guru if that is the case? So when there is no integrity on your guru who is giving you vidyas, then the bhakti, guru bhakti will also be online guru bhakti only. So how come you will learn vidyas? So it is to learn what the relationship is all about. So what spirituality is all about. So one day, at least one day, when our people get the sense, learning through online is wrong. I will have to go directly. It is for that thought only. We also have stepped into this gutter called online teaching. Not more than that. So I am not a Siddha Purusha, no. I am a normal Manushya. So even if you learn things online from me, that remains like downloading the mango tree only. The more and more you see the images of mango, one day won't you understand like, okay, I will have to taste mango. I am expecting that day. That is why I am also getting into this sinful business, but with the Sat idea. Yet the sin is a sin only. Nobody is an exception. Okay. Various paths, Kalika and Sri Vidya paths. In Sri Vidya paths, Lalita Parameshwari is the Nayaki. When it comes to Kalika, Kalika Parameshwari is the Nayaki. And here in Sri Vidya, Lalita will be the Nayaki as Kameshwari. And Sadashivan will remain as the Nayaka as a Kameshwara. So Sri Vidya is a path of Nayaka Nayaki. Kalika, here Kalika Parameshwari is the Nayaki for this path and Mahakala Bhagavan is the Nayaka for this path. So Kalika Vidya also is the path of Nayaka Nayaki. When it comes to Shakta, Lalita will sit on Sadashiva, Sadashiva becomes a Preta. So the Tattva of Lalita, the Tattva of Shakti stands atop. So the same Sri Vidya becomes a Shakta at that point of time. And Kalika Vidya. When Mahakalar becomes a Mahapreta, and when Kalika stands atop of Mahakalar, like your entire Kala Mukha Vidya, you know what, I am superior. Kalika Vidya is superior than Kala Mukha and Kapalika. So I alone remain. You all have dead now. So there Kalika becomes Shakta Vidya. And how to approach Mahavidya Tara. First, let us know how to approach Vidya. Only when we learn how to approach Vidya, we can even understand how to approach Mahavidya. Now this question has got no relevance. What is the role of the environment for spiritual practices like japa, etc.? 100%. Role of environment literally matters. See, in text, if you see, or you see all the spiritual jambavans, text and those spiritual jambavans will tell you do japa in temple, do japa in nadi tira, do japa in kshetras. They all will add the japa phala 10 times than what you do at home, they will say. But when it comes to reality, when it comes to practice, you are not supposed to do all these japas, pujas, and all those in public places. You will have to do it alone in a secluded place by closing the door, and that place has to remain 100% clean. Women in periods are not supposed to get into that room, and when women in periods are there in your home, and you also cannot get into that room, just in case if you are bound to, if there are no limitations maintained, if they roam everywhere, they touch everything, you also roam everywhere, you also touch everything, then you are not supposed to get into that room. And we will tell, okay, but this is all normal, this is all good for tantra, even kamakya has it. See, these are all vidantavada. If somebody talks to me like this, either I will walk away or I will slap them. It depends on what prarabdha they hold. We cannot, take reasons to justify our actions which we don't want to correct ourselves. You walk through any path, even in Tantrika, this must not happen. I told you, no, this can happen only when a man becomes truly Shiva and when a woman becomes truly Shakti. Until then, and no, and I say, if at all any man claims Shiva himself or Shakti, if any woman claims Shakti herself, I can verily prove them in 2 minutes whether they are truly Shiva or whether they are, crooked people. We always have to remember we are all mere humans, so we are all bound to live as per the rules. These are all the rules, whether you belong to Kanchipuram or you belong to Kamakya, this is the rule. Else your japa, your puja, even your puja vigraha, all will obtain doshas. That is why, let this, if you see most of the idols that we get, no, only eye space will be there. So that's how now the things are coming. Only the space will be there. Eyeball, nobody is making now. One way that is good. Even if you do prana pradishta, prana won't come and sit there as that has angahina. In that case, whatever puja, whatever that you do, no, that's not going to, bring massive doshas. Still, that will bring doshas. That will invite the Jeshtamba there, and you will become a crooked personality. Timings for spiritual practices given to us is always early morning or exactly during Sandhya Kalam. Why only during early morning? Because Shakti is one, and we call it positive and negative based on how we perceive, how we get affected through it. People who walk only in the brightest path, they will say this is positive, this is negative. People who walk only in the darkest path, they will also tell this is positive, this is negative. People who knows the root of both paths, as they have made a circle, they will not tell positive or negative, they will simply tell Shakti. Current is current. You touch it wrongly, that will hit you back. You touch it properly, that will help you. It's not like good Shaktis, howsoever you touch, it will not hit you back and all nonsense. When it comes to spirituality, no Swami will carry Kopa, no Swami will carry Karuna. Shakti is nothing but Vidyut Shakti or Agni Swarupa Shakti. It is either like, lightning or a fire. You touch it wrongly, it will burn your fingers. You touch it properly, then you will get the benefit out of it. Always effects and effects are two sides of a same coin. And if you worship Swami, the side effects will take some time to come. If you worship Kateri, Vetalam kind of thing, immediately side effects will come when we do things wrongly. Only when we travel both the paths, we will come to know spiritual philosophies never work in the path. So either it has to be early morning or it has to be during Sandhya Kala. The more and more you do when the sun comes to noon or when the sun sets, no. Those times, the unseen forces, the spirits that haven't crossed Bhuloka to Piturloka, those will remain everywhere. The spirits that has attained Akala Marana and all will remain everywhere. They will, if they look at you, they will either corrupt you because you go to a public toilet. Can you eat, sit and eat in the public toilet? You will get infections, you will get disease. You stand in front of the public toilet, you eat, you will get disease. When you go to the public toilet, you will close your nose and you will go. That's how it is. The mere sight of that spirits, the touch of that spirits will infect us. Laziness will come, then Durahamkar will come, obstacles will come, diseases will come, Ananda will go, jealous will come, greed will come, all Durchintana will come. You will get affected by physically and also mentally. That is why you see people who does japa after sunset, no, they can never understand the reality of what is good and what is bad. They think they are no different from Swami. That is the prasada that they get from the negative energies, the spirits that they have did, so that they will never progress in the path. When they don't progress in the path, then these spirits are certain that they cannot be controlled. And their objective is that everybody, even Shishya nowadays, you know what, don't want Guru to control him. They want to say, you are good, you are the. Instead of Shishya praising the Guru, nowadays Shishyas are all expecting Guru to praise them. So environment is there. So timings also have been told clearly to make sure minimum count of japa one has to do. This question has got, no relevance to answer actually. First of all, it depends on what japa that you are doing. Second, how have you obtained the japa? Only then we can tell what is the minimum count of japa. Until then, this question has got no answer. I can simply cover the session, do 1008 japa, do 108 japa, but that will remain no sense. Then I become no different from the auto driver who say, go straight, turn left, that's all you will get it. No, I am not an auto driver. Japa Vidhanam or Nitya Anushtanam during Asaucha if someone borns and dies in the family. In Bengal, we don't enter puja room itself for 13 days. But why should we stop Nitya Japam? Even in Vaitika, should we stop Sandhya? See, you know what? When we are in the world, sometimes we have to go with the world flows only. Say, for example, everyone here knew I dare to oppose thousands and thousands of people if they are wrong. And everyone know I dare to support even if he is terribly wrong but does some good thing. That will not help you to stick into the society. If you don't have any goals with the society, if you don't have any material goals to live, then you can live that kind of life. You don't want to bother anything. But when your life is bound to society, you will have to sometimes bend yourself according to the society. During Asaucha Kala, Sandhya Vandana must not be done, is the infection that is spreading everywhere. Until and unless you are dead, you should not stop Sandhya Vandanam is the rule. But now we will have to stop the Sandhya Vandana when we are going through Asaucha Kala for the sake of society. Else those elders will curse you. Why do you want to carry the curse in the path of spirituality? Should we stop Nitya Japam? Same answer. Why do you want to get the curse from your society, from the elders? And moreover, you know what? Your behavior determines the merit and demerits of your guru. When I went to a place, my guru gave a call to that place and said, you know, my fire shishya is coming. Make sure, you know what, you don't shake your tails in front of him, he will cut it. So when I went to such a wrong place, they all behaved properly. So that kind of understanding between guru and shishya has to be there. If you do all these things as a, you know what, the spiritual revolution, no, that will earn bad name to your guru. So howsoever your guru is accomplished, people will call names, and you cannot be the reason for people to, you know what, talk ill about your Maharaj. So are the questions done? Shall we end this session? Okay. So take care. Swami Sharanam. Make use of this 1.5 hours that you have spent and I also have spent. So let's value each of our time and take this in mind and come out of modern spiritual attitude, hold on to tradition, save Hinduism. Saving Hinduism lies in the hands of every Hindu. It is only when you catch hold of tradition, Hinduism will survive. If you leave tradition, Hinduism will never survive. Swami Sharanam.